Yeah, starting with PyQt5. Qt is the very lightweight and user interface framework which is widely used in many applications. Actually, that Qt is the framework used in mobile applications uh, like smartphone mobile application. It was with the frameworks called Qtopia and OPAE, which is very old frameworks before to Android and before to uh, uh, everybody having the different frameworks. Qt has played started like with the uh, user interface for mobiles, and Qt started using that the user interface frameworks in a wide area, like a very lightweight user application needed some kind of a instrument cluster or automotive uh, speed gauge, kind of different automations. Automotive uses mostly Qt frameworks inbuilt, and some of the applications like we can say industrial user interface applications are used by Qt frameworks. Uh, Basically, this is Qt is the very lightweight user interface framework, and PyQt is the binding for the binding of the Python for Qt user interface development kit or application toolkit. Basically, Python Qt is graphical user interface widgets. It, it provides complete graphic user interface widgets, windows, and toolkits, dialog boxes, message boxes, and all those things are integrated into the PyQt as a different classes. Basically, PyQt is the Python interface for the Qt library, which is built in C++. The PyQt is the Python interface, which gives something like we are calling the Python function, which internally calls that the respective Qt libraries C++ function. It's something kind of a Python interface or wrapper to that Qt library. And since it is just a wrapper, it is powerful and a cross platform. It can be used on different platforms like Windows, Linux, and other operating systems as well. And the PyQt provides some kind of a flexibility and combination of both the Python programming language and then Qt library. The PyQt was developed by Riverbank Computing, and it provides wide range of user interface classes and respective member functions, and it compatible with all the operating systems: Windows, Linux, Android, and Mac OS. PyQt comes with two different licenses. One is general public license, and another one is a commercial license. General public license, whatever the applications we are developing, it's something like a open source. Whatever we are developing, we have to share it back to the open source. In case of the commercial application you are developing, then it cannot be the source cannot be shared. In that case, we can use the commercial license. And also PyQt also embedded in C++ based applications with the to enhance the uh, application functionalities. Basically, here we have the some kind of a Qt functional overview. It provides graphical user interface applications. It provides hello. It provides networking, and it's the PyQt supports threads. But the thing is, Python is very bad in using threads. Mostly, we will not use the threads in, but thread is sufficient in case of a Qt C++ environment. but here Python thread based PyQt, Python is not efficient with the thread handling. We have mostly we will use kind of a process based systems over here, and it provides different features like SQL database, positioning systems, and 3D animations, visualization, and etc. over here. And the applications areas are something like automotive, in vehicle infotainment systems, automations, set-top boxes, and digital televisions, and medical appliance and security surveillance applications are the major area of Qt applications. And here we have kind of different Qt classes. It starts with the Qt core, which is core base and core non-GUI classes used by various modules, and Qt GUI is the GUI class component, and we have the widgets, we have the application, we have the multimedia related classes, and we have the network programming class, we have a database management, we have the WebKit for rendering web pages and HTML and XML related Qt XML, and graphics related with the Qt OpenGL, and scripts can be done with the Qt. And we can start with that. How can we install that PyQt? Yeah. Installing PyQt5 can be done with the simple pip3 install PyQt5 and PyQt5 tools with the help of pip3 install PyQt5 -tools. And we will be we can check that whether our installation is done it properly or not with the help of by importing that Qt widgets or any classes from the PyQt5 that we can explore over here. From PyQt5 import Qt widgets. Yeah, this means that the PyQt5 is installed properly in this system, and we got it import with the we could able to import that Qt widgets framework from the PyQt5. Yeah, and we have the option something like different PyQt classes with Qt widgets, Q application, Q widget, and Q labels, and we can design that user applications with the help of Qt Designer. Qt Designer is the one which is the tool used to design and develop the graphical user interfaces for the. It is for both C, C++, and Python. That it will get varied. It will be varied depends upon the usage that we will see over here. And I'm going to open that PyQt. Qt Designer. Qt Designer is an freely usable tool which you can download it from the internet and you can use it over here. And for example, here we have some kind of a different UI that we can able to create using the Qt Designer, that we can form a different layouts. We can add a buttons like a push button, tool buttons, radio buttons, checkbox, and different views like a tree view, list view, and table view, and widgets, different widgets, group box, different containers, and different input widgets like a text edit or plain text edit or password, date and time change. All those things we can able to use this Qt designer to generate our own user interface application. Maybe we can start with that small one. I'm going to start with that small dialog box over here. Yeah, the dialog box contains a simple one and with OK and cancel button. And I'm going to save this in our meetup and then new folder. So I'm going to save this as dialog.ui. Maybe this UI will get added. Yeah, I have saved this as a dialog.ui, and maybe we can use this user interface from our PyQt application. We can use that functions to load that user interface, and we can show it on our applications over there, and that we can see over here. Yeah, this is a simple one to show over here. I'm going to yeah, here what we are doing is something like a UAC. UAC is the one user interface compiler. Basically, user interface compiler will be used to generate that from the user interface file to respective outputs that it can be like a C++ files can be generated or Python files can be generated. That we will see in a later point. And here we are just loading that the dialog.ui into window, and we are opening that Q application as the application, and we are setting up that window, and we are showing the window and then executing the application, so that whatever be the window we have dialog we have designed using the Qt designer in the name of dialog.ui will be visible to us by running this. Maybe I can run it over here. Yeah, now we got the same OK and cancel over here by running this application, and we just loaded with that dialog.ui user interface created by the Qt designer, that we are loading here and starting our application with the loaded user interface designs. Yes. Is this fine? Hello. Basically, we are creating that .ui user interface file with the help of Qt designer. And once we created that user interface file, we are loading that user interface into our application by using dialog.ui. using the function called load UI type, and we got that form and window. And with respect to form, we are at in the form we are attaching that window over here, so that we will be getting that events, that event handling like slots and signals that we will see in a later time. And once we done with that loading and setting up the UI, and we are starting that application, and with that we are able to see that whatever be the designed in the dialog.ui, that we can able to see in our application over here. Yeah, is this fine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hari, one doubt. In the Qt designer, right? What are the icons and things we are using? So those things are customizable, or these are like any icon package or kind of thing available?
Yeah.
Or we need to use.
Yeah, you can just install that Qt designer. In this, you can use anything like, for example, push button is there. Maybe if suppose you can just drag and drop here the push button, and for example, if you want radio button, you can put it over here. Like that, you can drag and drop, and you can create your own UI. Yes.
One thing is that particular push button, that look and feel is customizable, Hari.
Yes, this is fully customizable.
I mean, color and otherwise, I'm asking generally.
Yes, that you can able to customize. For example, you have the push button over here, and here, for example, you want to change the font.
Okay.
You can do the font change bold and 15. Yeah, the font get changed, and you will have that complete information stored here with the size and all those things. Your abstract button and icon size, and for example, yeah,
Good, good. Thanks, Hari. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Hari. I got that one.
yeah, this is complete information. You wanted to change the color, right? Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Basically, like in website you use CSS, right? So
Sorry,
kind of things I put it.
uh, sorry, I did not get you.
In websites we use CSS, right? Style
Yes,
sheets, right? Basically to
yes,
customize. So like that I expected. So that's why I got. I mean, I
yeah.
got that one.
You can use this complete information to change it, customize it to your need accordingly. Yeah.
Okay.
If suppose you wanted to do the mouse tracking and those kind of events, that can be done over there. It depends upon that. If suppose you wanted to add a status tip, for example, if suppose whenever you go over here, it will show something, right? If suppose you
Hovering kind of thing.
overlay, if suppose you put a cursor or mouse pointer over there, it will say that what is the use of it, like that. A
Okay.
tooltip, all those information can be added over here. Yes, for example, once we added over here, maybe we can save this, and if suppose we run it again, this whatever be the changes that will get loaded over here. Yeah, something like a push button, radio button, all those things get added over here for our usage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, Hari. Understood. Thanks, Hari.
yeah. Thank you. And yeah, I'm going back little. Yeah. Basically, that Qt designer will be used to change the different properties, and it can be we can set that properties, and we can change that by using the code that it can that we can change that properties in the code as well, and it provides the complete easy to use and customizable windows and dialogues and user interfaces that can also be used to create like a Qt kick as well over here. And we have that options like a main window which provides different forms to manage the user interface design, multi windows, docked windows, and we have the menu bars and toolbars, widget boxes, application specific help, and preference dialogues. Qt Designer is basically a complete tool set which can be used to uh, design a very easy to use and comfortable user interface applications and over here. And we have that Qt widgets and layouts. It's something like if suppose we wanted to do a layout in a horizontal manner or vertical manner or grid kind of a layout or a form layout, all those things can be managed with the class called Qt widgets, which provides some kind of a widgets and layouts for our user interface application, which can be like a drag and drop that objects like vertical layout, horizontal layout can be a drag and drop over there. Yeah, maybe here, for example, we can design. I'm going to add these two in a horizontal vertical layout over here. And for example, maybe similar way we can use horizontal layout. In that case, if suppose I added one push button and then if I add one checkbox over here, it is horizontally like this and this placed horizontally. If suppose if I add one more over here, maybe another radio button, this gets added like a horizontal fashion. This is a horizontal layout. Because of that, whatever whatever the uh, uh, whatever the user interfaces we are adding, it's get added in a horizontal fashion. Same way in the this is a vertical layout that whenever we add someone one more, for example, if I add it here, it is like a vertical layer that is vertically one by one. This is a horizontal layout which is horizontally one by one, basically. Yeah. The similar way we can have that grid layout, which provides some kind of a grid kind of a grid kind of a user interface. Something like we can add it one more, and I'm going to add push button and another one. If suppose actually the grid, I have to make it like a the grid should be 2 cross 1 or 2 cross 2 like that, 3 cross 2 like that. Maybe we need to change it. Uh, we'll select over here and Uh, like that, we can able to one second. Uh, Currently, the grid is in uh, uh, X cross one kind of formats that we can convert into the 2 cross 2 or 3 cross 2, like that. We can convert into the formats accordingly. And we can use that form layout, which is something like, if suppose, which is similar to our normal VB forms that we can use over here. Like it can be a combination of everything that we can able to create over there. The form layout, maybe we can place some kind of horizontal, and maybe we can add it to the form factor according to our need over here. Yes. Is this fine? And this can be, if suppose we run this, and we will get that options, like whatever we have designed, we will get that all those options, like radio button, like those. We can use that the selections, and we can do that accordingly over here. Yes. Okay. Uh, is this fine? Shall we move forward? Yeah. Here in Qt5, we will be having different things, something like edit mode, and we will be having that signals and slots used to connect that. For example, we can say that I'm going to run this. For example, each and every events are considered like signals, basically. In a Qt environment, each and everything, something like a radio button clicked, radio button removed, and radio button clicked, removed, and I'm going to checkbox clicked, checkbox uh, unclicked, and for example, push button pressed and button released, and all those things are considered like signals to that application, basically. That the signal to that application, that it the whatever be the signal generated, that will be handled in the callback functions, that is called slots, basically, which is the one, the signals and slot mode, which is the one used to connect that signals generated by the uh, widgets and the respective callback functions in our application with using the slots. Yes. And we have that uh, a buddy editing mode is used to assign that label to the widgets, which can be handled keyboard focus correctly over there. And we have that tab order editing mode, something like in our in every application, if suppose we does not have mouse, we can use tab to move from one button to another button, and one selection to another selection, one key, one drop down to another drop down. Like that, we can assign that tab order, so that the tab order will be moved accordingly to the from one user interface widget to another user interface widget, basically. That will be called like a tab ordered editing mode, basically. Yeah. Once we done with that uh, uh, dialog sample, maybe we can use some kind of buttons over here to handle the slots and signals basically over here. Uh, yeah. The slots and signals, something that we can see over here, which is running. Yeah. For example, we have created, and for that we have the options. Yeah. We have the uh, command called py user interface 5 is the one which basically you used to generate that code for the user interface files basically. That we have Qt designer stores that file user interface in a XML formatted .ui file. For example, we have the dialog.ui has been saved in saved over here, that we can use that dialog.ui with the help in terms of um, the Python file that we wanted to use in our application, and we wanted to handle that slots and signals. Then we need to convert that user interface file into the Python file that we can done with the utility called py user interface 5 utility. PyUIC5 utility generates that Python code that with respect to the user interface file. We can use over here in I'm going to create yeah, command prompt. The command prompt cd projects meetup hands-on dir. It contains dialog.ui is the file. I'm going to create a PyUIC file. That it needs to be given with the input file, the output format, something like a dialog.ui -o output.py. Over here, maybe I can use PyUIC5 dialog.ui -o or something like a I'm going to give my dialog dot py. This basically created that dialog.ui user interface file into the Python file. Over here, maybe we can use, I can open here and see my dialog, which basically contains that all the implementation needed for that the respective applications. Basically, something like a UI dialog is the class, and it includes setup.ui and functions with the with basically we need to add it create a user interface using the generated Python application that we can able to see over here. And for example, I'm going to use new file. Instead of we in the dialog.py, we just loaded that dialog.ui with the help of load UI type for member function, and we loaded that dialog.ui directly from the XML formatted user interface file into a window. Instead of that, we just generated that Python based file using the Python user interface compiler PyUIC5 and generated the Python file, and we are going to add, we are going to use that generated Python file to create our own functions, basically. I'm going to use my UI is the Python file. I'm going to design or execute over here. For that, we may need to uh, I'm going to add something like the whatever be the file I'm having, which is mydialog.py. I'm going to import my dialog. From my dialog, it has the class of UI underscore dialog is my class. I'm going to import this over here, and in the my first UI, I'm going to add over here, and the Qt main window over, and I'm going to use this UI dialog and self.ui setup, and then it will be get added into that my window, and we can able to see that screen over there. Yeah, I'm going to execute. This setup.ui, there is button box. I'm going to add def accept of self print okay button first here. Yeah. The same way we have the function, we have the two buttons like accept and OK and cancel. For the OK function, OK button will be called with the function like accept, and reject member function will be called for a cancel button is pressed. Okay, over here, and I'm going to run it. Yeah. Now, if suppose we are, I'm clicking OK, then I'm getting the OK button is pressed, and if I'm clicking cancel, then cancel button is got. I got this function got executed, and I have this cancel button is pressed like that. For that, I have the we have that the in the mydialog.ui, we have the function called uh, the there is a function called accept.connect, which is used to connect it, that whenever we click the OK button, accepted, then the respective accept function should be get called, and in case of cancelled or rejected, then there should be a reject button should be get called. For that, this is the signal that button box generates accepted, which is an OK button press, and button box with the cancel button press, which is an rejected, then that reject function should get called. And for that, we added the two member function in our myui.py with accept and reject, so that whenever we click on the buttons, the respective callbacks is getting called. For example, OK, cancel button, cancel, cancel, and I'm going to press push button. There is no event. Actually, it is generating the signals, but it does not have anything to get link. That how we can link that any user interface icons events to the member function that we will see over here, and I can close. For that, we can use the function called, yeah, I'm going to use the function. Yeah, here we have that something like a, for that we have the concept called signal and slot. Signal is the one which is graphical user interface application generated, or mouse button clicked event, or checkbox clicked event, or radio clicked event, or button click, or mouse click. Anything will be considered like signals, and the signals has to be handled by the some function which is called a slot. That it has that objects. Q objects is the one which emits the signal in response to one or more events, like OK button press, or cancel button press, or push button press. Anything that we can able to handle with the Q objects basically emits the signal, and a signal does not perform any actions. For example, we run this. Uh, we run this. We got a button, and whenever we are clicking, it basically generates that signals, but there is no action is occurring over here unless we have specified the action in a member function over here. We here now we will see how we can link that signal to the member function, and how it can be handled over there. Slots, we can say that signals can be any signals can be connected with the slot. Slot is the one which is the callback function, and it can be called by any Python functions. Basically the slot is the one is the member function which is callable Python function basically over here. In order to connect, we will be having some kind of a Qt core dot Q object connect that will connect that signal to respective one that we will see over here. For example, if suppose we wanted to handle that button one, B1 is clicked event, that to connect with some functions. For example, we have the button over here, my dialog. We have the push button is the one which is the one uses the push button that we wanted to connect. In that case, we can use the push button dot clicked dot connect that we can be able to use in our function. For example, self dot, I'm going to use self dot UI dot push button dot clicked dot connect, clicked dot connect to push clicked over here, and I'm going to add this function def push underscore clicked self over here. Maybe I'm going to print push button pressed. Basically, here we are connecting that push button click event signal to the slot called push underscore clicked of Python callable function over here. Now, if we run, maybe I can use self dot push. Yeah. Yeah. Now we are getting that push button event, and the respective slot function is getting called whenever we are pressing that push button push button basically. Like that, maybe we can add that signals to each and everything. For example, we will be having the red checkbox is the one, and we can able to check that what are all the signals that that particular checkbox or anything will have. I'm going to select this checkbox, and we can choose the option like sender checkbox, and then we can see there is a this many clicked, pressed, released, toggled, or uh, and destroyed, like that. We have different many functions are there, like clicked with the bool, and pressed with bool, and released with pressed and released, toggled. Like that, we have the options. Maybe we can handle that toggled event over here. I can do with the help of something like um, we can use the function uh, qtcode dot qobject dot connect over here, with the self dot ui dot, and the button, we have that button option is checkbox is the one, is the widget, and maybe we have to use the option something like um, q, qobject dot uh, toggled with the function with the checkbox toggled is the one, and the function to be defined over here def checkbox underscore toggled self comma that we will be having that value over here if value equals true, then print checkbox is selected, else print checkbox is deselected over here. This is the options that we can run to check the connections over here. Yeah, I have to add it. Yes. Q, Q object. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Got equivalent projects, and then have the meetup, hands-on, and then my UI.cpp, and I have that mm, can do, maybe we can do something like self dot ui dot uh, checkbox dot toggled dot connect, and then self dot checkbox underscore toggled over here. So that now we can able to run it over here.
Spelling checkbox toggle, not toggled.
Okay, D, okay. Yeah, now we can do checkbox is selected and checkbox is deselected, like that. Maybe we can use that. I use that. We can connect with the signals, and we can use that options to make it enabled basically over here. And we have that different options. Something like if suppose we wanted to set that checkbox to whenever we are reading from the configuration file, and we wanted to make that checkbox whenever that user application starts up. Something like we have selected, these are all the options that we have selected, that we can able to load that with the by programmatically by setting the value over here to checkbox. For example, maybe we can do that self dot ui dot checkbox equals true. second, that we need to the function is maybe we have that options. There is full support on the net that we can check the different options available over here. For example, Python Q checkbox. This is the one that we can use this the checkbox informations, and we can use that different functions over here. Check state and check. It has the function called set check state, and that will it basically check state returns the current checkbox check stated, and we can use set checked state set state to the state that we wanted to set. For example, we can also use set checked, which takes boolean value basically, and we wanted to do something like a set check state. I'm going to give set check state of true, so that we can able to see yeah, whenever that the checkbox is application is started, the checkbox is get selected. Like that, we can do the things in a programmatical way, so that all the user interface can be controlled in the PyQt applications. Basically. Yeah. Is this fine? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like we can use that some kind of any buttons or any widgets or anything. The events has to be linked with that the respective slot function, which is the callback function that it is going to handle that particular signals generated from the user application. Whatever be the signal generated from the user application is called an signal. The callback function, which is going to handle that particular signal, is called slot. In terms of Qt, the signal and the slot can be connected using the function with the widget and signal connected. For example, here we have used push button. We have used push button, and then event is the signal is the clicked, and connect is the one which connects that push button clicked event to the push clicked member a callback function. Similar way, checkbox toggled signal gets connected with the checkbox toggle callback function over here. Yes, like that we can able to connect and manipulate the different user interface accordingly over here. And we, in order to handle that those events, that we need to convert that whatever be the .ui created in the using Qt Designer, that we can able to convert into the format of Python file format with the help of Py user interface compiler tool called PyUIC5, which is specific to that PyQt5 basically over here. And basically it's generate that code with the Python object type, and it will be having that function called setup UI. For example, the code generated here is the my dialog. My dialog over here, and it will have the function called setup UI, which will set up all the function, all the windows of initial state that we can. This is the one which we have designed in the Qt Designer. All those setups will be done in the setup.ui that we will call in our main in our application. Here we are calling setup.ui. We are creating a UI dialog instance over here, and we are calling the setup UI member function so that the UI got set up over here, over there in our application basically. And class name is the top level object set in the designer, and basically this is referred something kind of a setup UI and takes an argument which is created, and sometimes that the class event will be prepended with the UA underscore basically. For example, here in we have the file called dialog.ui which we are creating into mydialog.py. Here it got added automatically. UA underscore will get added automatically, and from we are converting dialog.ui to the Python script, Python file, and whenever we are converting the UA, the class name will be created accordingly. If suppose X is the file name, then x.ui conversion will create the class name like a UA underscore X. Here we have used dialog .ui that get converted with the class name of UA underscore dialog basically over here. Yeah. Yeah. Is this fine to have that? And here we can move forward with some more information, like we have used Qt Q application and Qt widgets, all those things. We have some information. We will see some information about that Qt widgets and Q applications over here, and basically Qt widgets.q application basically manages the user interface application control flow and settings, and once that the application got executed, it enters into the main event loop. It receives all the events and process and dispatches accordingly. For example, here we have that myua.py file, and our control function control goes up to this, and app.exe got executed. After that, the control completely within this main loop. The main loop will be present inside that app.exec, and the control will the program control only comes after we close the application. Other than till that time, it was completely within that exec. For example, if suppose I'm going to put some print after app exec execution over here, and if suppose I am running, yeah, I got selected only. I got the output. Only checkbox is selected. There is no print is coming after whatever I have put. It's something like app.exe is the main loop which runs continuously. That it will the program control will comes here only when the application get closes. Over here, I am going to close this. Then we can able to see, we can dot the print after app execution, after app exe execution, something like after we are closing that application, the app.exe the application will come out of this main loop, which is an app.exe, and whenever it comes out after we are closing that application, the rest of the function will rest of the things will get executed only after that. Basically, in the real time application, there won't be anything after app.exec basically over here. If suppose we wanted to handle some of the things, if suppose application got closed during that time, we wanted to handle something, we can add after app.exec. Okay, basically, yeah. And queue application is the one queue application queue application instant app.exec runs the main loop, which handles that initialization, finalization, and session management, and it handles that system and application settings and signals over there, and also whatever be the mouse cursor and click events, all those things are handled by the Qt widgets.queue application, which is the main loop of our functions basically over there. And we can have in our application, we can have only one queue application object can be created, even if suppose if suppose our application has multiple windows, we should not have multiple queue application objects to there can be only one main loop to create handle that multiple events. We can create only one queue application object in our application. Yes. And Qt widgets is the base class for all the user interface class. From that, only every classes are get derived, like a button or anything that will be get derived from that. It basically Q widgets receives that keyboard or mouse events and refresh it up, refresh the UI accordingly, and some of the functions, something like QLabel is the one to display the text or image, and it does not have any user interaction like mouse click. For example, if suppose we added the label, it just shows the text and it does not do anything over there other than that. For example, I'm going to add an text over here. For example, here, label. Maybe meetup. That we will have some kind of a font. Maybe I can increase the font size. Bold 12. Yeah, this has that. I have saved this file, and maybe I'm going to close this my dialog, and I'm going to create dialog.ui to my dialog.py again. And if suppose I am running this application, yeah, now we got the label over here, which does not have any events or signals over there, but it can be changed accordingly. For example, I'm going to do this checkbox over here, checkbox selected and deselected. And for example, if suppose during the checkbox selected, I wanted to change accordingly. For example, self dot ui dot and I shall open for instance name. my dialog.py. In that, the label is self.label over here, self.ui.label dot set text meetup on meetup off over there, and I'm going to run it over here, meetup off and meetup on, like that. Yeah, that it may basically that we can in the event we can also control that another user interface elements within the slot. Basically here we have that the slot checkbox. In that we are setting the text for the label meetup on and meetup off, like that we can able to uh, generate accordingly, generate and update the UI if needed. For example, if suppose we are selecting some inputs that it has to get reflected in the UI, then we can some kind of a dynamic user interface that if suppose we wanted to enable or disable that particular UI element, that we can able to handle it accordingly. Yeah, over here, and we have that the hello world. We run that hello world application with the dialog.ui created, and we can link that queue widgets and label over here over there, and we can able to run that application with the help of these informations basically. Yeah, and basically that the application main loop will be running in the with the help of app.exec file, so that the continuous signals and event monitoring will happen in the main loop. Over here. This is the base introduction about the PyQt over here, and you have any questions on this? Hello.
Hello, Hari.
Hi. Yes.
Yeah. Whether we will port this one into web domain website, what are the UI we develop, right?
Yes.
Whether it's possible to convert into a web-based application?
No, actually, this is some kind of a desktop kind of application, or it has to be run in the embedded application only. It cannot be run on the web-based application. But the thing is, Python can be Python has the WebKit that it can uses that if suppose we wanted to load and show the website, then you can use the WebKit of PyQt5. You can use you can load and show the website on the device.
Okay. Why I'm telling, because you are generating some UI XML, right? I mean, UI in the form of XML, correct?
Yeah, the UI XML format will be something like this, and for example, whatever be the, for example, dialog.ui which we have created, which will be, this is something like a XML based formats.
Yeah. That's why I'm having some. Just I want to understand whether if you have some kind of web-based CSS or right, if you convert into that one, so whether our other connect you told about that the signal and slot, right?
Yes.
So whether we are able to map into the web-based hooks, that's what I'm asking. Is it possible?
You mean to say that if suppose in your website, you will have the button whether that can
Yes.
be connected to the
Yes.
this slot. Uh,
Yes.
I think it cannot be done. We can do some way, something like we can generate that. We can create a web view over here in the uh, Qt Designer. We will be having some kind of a list view, and we have the option for WebKit. That using the WebKit, we can able to load the web pages, and WebKit based events can be linked to the slots, not within the websites. Events can be linked here.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Hari.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, keep me posted if suppose any doubts you have, and uh, uh, I would like to participate in some of the future uh, meetups, like contributing or sharing your knowledges, so that it will form something like a better meetup group, and we can move forward in a good directions. Yeah. I think I have shared that this is the one that maybe I'm not sure that over here. Sorry. This is the one planned on June 6th, which have that I planned with the three sessions, like 30 minutes for from the each group volunteers, and we can do some kind of a group discussion at the end. Maybe we can, till that situation becomes normal, we can plan some kind of a online. I think that should be better to stay safe. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, please continue your support. Yeah, is there any other uh, any doubts? Anything else?
Do you have any recommended topics?
Sorry.
Do you have any recommended topics for this session? 1, 2, 3.
It's there is no topics recommended. It's something like it's sharing of informations. Actually, one person came something like he just 1.5 years of experience, and he wanted to share. What can I share like that? He asked me. I told you are studying the C programming, right? You can share that. A binary tree or a linked list, that also will be a it's something like almost I also most of us are forget about the tree, how it will be working. It will work, maybe that will give all of us refresh like that. There is no recommended topics. Any topics can be related with our technologies, information technology, that will that all are welcome. Yes.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Thank you. Thank you all. I think there is uh, if any doubts, keep me posted, and maybe I shall share this at the samples in a Git, and we'll share the link over there. And yeah, we shall see over here there. Thank you. Thanks everybody. Yeah. Thank you all.